What's up, good people? Larry Jones back here at Stock Up. No, I'm just playing. You know what's up. You know what's up. We're gonna give you guys an update here on ticker symbol AMC, AMC Entertainment. We're gonna give you guys all the most recent news that we have available to us. I want to show you guys a comparison. Also, you're gonna probably know from the title, but a Volkswagen to GameStop and AMC, because it is talked about quite a bit, right? The situation with Volkswagen, how it compares to the squeeze happening right now with AMC, with GameStop, right? We're gonna give you that. We're gonna give you the most recent short interest. I'll show you resources from Fintel as well as Ortex. Ortex being a site that I personally pay for the most relevant information on. I've got a couple of other things as well pulled up that we were going to talk to you guys about. So let's just get right into the video. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Trace Trades, where we get technical analysis on different stocks in the stock market, as well as potential buy, hold, or sell opinions on these given stocks. I like to preface by saying that I'm not a financial advisor nor expert, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Now, let's just get into this today. First thing that I want to cover, I've got a couple different things pulled up here real quick to show you guys. And I want to show you the AMC Short Interest first. So this was updated as of today. We saw a total, February 3rd, 2021, a total of 61 million shares in short volume, which is comparatively to the overall market volume, about 31% of the 199 million that we saw on the day. Now, I do want to clarify something. I do recognize that there are some people out there that probably don't understand what this means. This is the overall volume that the stock saw today, not the overall volume that the stock has total. Meaning that on January 29th, we saw 147 million total in short volume on the stock. Yesterday, we saw 120 million total in short volume on the stock, and 76 million 2 days before that on the stock. And the reason we saw it pretty low today, right, is because we did have the SSR in place. Now, what is the SSR, right? Well, we're going to read this off to you real quick so you understand. The SSR, or the short sale rule, is triggered when a stock goes down more than 10% from its prior close. SSR remains on a stock for the rest of the trading day when it's triggered, and remains on for the following trading day as well. The SEC made this rule to prevent short sellers causing its stock to tank. All it really does is make it difficult to short. This does not mean that it cannot be shorted. As you do see here from the overall short interest, we did still see 61 million total in volume. It does not mean it can't be shorted. The people who want to short are still going to short the stock. A stock having short sale restriction does not always affect the probability of the stock going up and down. Do not buy a stock just because it has short sale restrictions on. That is something that I do want to preface by saying. It does help the overall cause. It makes it more difficult to short a stock, but it does not overall restrict shorting on a stock. That is something that is important for everybody to know regarding the AMC situation. The exception for that rule is in small cap stocks, as these can be manipulated easier due to their lower float. It is much for a 3 million share, $5 stock to drop 50 cents than it is for Netflix to drop $30 to $40 a share. Strong, uptrending, low float stocks plus SSR can be the recipe for a big squeeze. Now that's something that I actually think makes the situation here with AMC a little bit different, because we do have the stock trading right now at $8.78. We closed the day at $8.97, as you can see right here. So I would still consider this a penny stock. Of course, there is an absurd amount of volume coming into this right now, so that does overall change things. But if we look here today, the SSR being in place, the overall short volume that did come into the stock, right? I think we saw a win for sure. We opened the day, right around 875, close it at 897. But if you look here on the 5-day chart, this is not bad, guys. I stand by that for sure. We closed the previous day at about $7.44. So we saw a really nice run up here in the pre-market. We did fall back a little bit at open, this being about 4 a.m. Then it ran up again, a little bit of a pullback, ran up some more. High of 977 on the day, which is pretty solid. We have a nice couple of patterns on here. We've got a nice ascending level of support right here, as you can see, and that is typically a good thing to see. We did break that, right? And you have this nice level is here, right here as well, right? 3 different touch points, wide range candle bar that breaks above that, 977 for the day, and then a little bit of pullback, could be some profit taking, etc. The other source that I want to show you guys and give some clarification on is the AMC short interest as of Ortex. Now, I'm going to refresh this so we get the most relevant information and show you a couple different things. So one thing that we can see right here is the percentage free float on loan, currently being 24.41%, which is down from 7 days ago, about 3% or so. Now, I want to show you what free float percentage on loan is if you're not familiar. It's the percentage of the company's free float that is currently out on loan. So 24% currently of the percentage of the company's free float is currently out on loan. That is what that means right now. Shares on loan as of the last date that is given to us, which was updated, it looks like on the 15th of January, was 44.67 million. So this is obviously not relevant anymore. That is not something that we need to cover. But the days to cover, this is important. 0.64. What is days to cover? This is when you take the short interest of the stock and you divide it by the average volume over a 3-month period. And that gives you the days to cover. Now, lower days to cover means that shorts are going to be able to cover their position in the stock a little bit easier than they were before. Now, that might scare you, right? You prefer to see that they have a harder time covering. Well, we need to be realistic, guys. I'm not here to pump the stock. I'm not here to give you guys false hope. I'm here to give you the most relevant information regarding the cause. Believe me, I am in the cause too. I've got a stake. I have a stake right now in AMC. In fact, I increased it today. Every free stock that I've been receiving through Webull, my most recent paycheck that I got from Patreon, I put straight into this company. All my free stocks I'm selling, everything I'm buying is AMC. I bought 127 shares of AMC today, about $1,000 worth, and I will continue to load the boat on AMC because I'm with everybody here on the cause. Believe me, and I've got way more to talk about there once we get into the video a little more. But right now, we're not winning the fight as much. Today was a good step in the right direction, right? It was a great step in the right direction. I think we ended the day about 20% positive, which is good. Any day in the green is a good day. But it was a beatdown for a while there. We had a rough couple of days when the stock was really being hammered down. It was a combination of probably a couple different things, right? I think the majority of people are holding the stock. 100% I think that. But I do also think there's some people that are scared, that are in different financial situations that can't necessarily afford to let their money just continue to bleed and let them worry about what's happening here. But I find this very interesting. I was on a live stream with Brian Jung, and I talked to a hedge fund analyst, and his name was Justin. And Justin said, he was basically a fundamental analysis type of guy. He was really, really convicted with Bitcoin. And he said, if I had sold Bitcoin back when it dropped from $13,000 from the high of 26, I would have never got to experience when it hit, 30, whatever plus $1,000 that Bitcoin is now. He actually firmly believes that it's going to be a $500,000 company 10, 15 years down the road per share, right? So, or per Bitcoin. So if basically what I get from that and what I want to pass along is conviction is really what this comes down to. If you firmly believe and you're convicted in the cause and what's going to happen here, guys, then the price is psychological. And to me, at this point, the price is psychological. I enjoy covering it. I love having the live streams. I love going absolutely insane when we have a filthy day in the market, right? But the price is psychological if you believe in the cause and why we are doing this. Now, I do have a couple different things pulled up that I want to explain to you about what we may be seeing here. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not an expert. There's no way that I can know this. This is my opinion based on the things that are being presented to me. But I do have news articles and references to back this up to show you what I'm talking about. So some people are already aware of this, but essentially what I think we are likely seeing happen, and this is take it for what it is two things: naked shorting and a short attack ladder. And essentially what happens in a short attack ladder is you see hedge funds or institutional buyers sell and buy back and forth to each other in an algorithmic way to cheat the market making system. It's planned, it is strategic, and the end goal for companies is to bankrupt and not pay taxes on their gotten gains. So that's a big deal, and I think that's very likely what you've seen happening over the last 5 days or so with the stock today. Now, it did not happen today. We did have the SSR in place, which does make it more difficult for people to short a stock. But look at this, guys. It looks like a ladder. It looks like a straight down ladder. This is in a really, really hard moving downward channel, and it did not break out of this for a long, long, long time, guys. And you can see the overall short volume coming into the stock right now. You guys can look at these numbers literally anytime you want. This is always available to you. We've seen 147 million in short volume as of the 29th, 76 million the day after that, 120 million the day after that. I mean, we even had SSR in place today, which makes shorting a stock extremely difficult. And we still saw 61 million in short volume today. Now, what does that indicate? That tells you exactly what you need to know. It is the fact that this is still a heavily shorted stock. There's still a lot of interest from hedge funds. Look at this. The overall ratio was 30.86% of total volume that came into the stock today was short volume. That's insane. That is insane, even with SSR in place, and we still had a green day. So check that out. That tells you everything you need to know about the crazy things happening right now. We actually had more overall short volume today than we did in previous days, and we ended green. That tells you everything you need to know about the manipulation happening right now behind the scenes. It's insane. Now, What's the good news here, right? Well, we're going to get to that later here in the video, but I do want to show you a couple of articles. One that I don't want you to pay any mind to if you do believe in the cause, right? And what's the cause? If you're new to this, if you have no idea what's happening right now, essentially you had a group of Reddit guys, right? And they're looking through some different companies and saying, you know what? We see Melvin Capital. We see what you guys are doing. You are purposely targeting GameStop, AMC, trying to bankrupt them. So we're going to screw you guys because we know exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to bankrupt the company, which affects a lot of people, guys. Retail investors, retail workers. Think about all the people at GameStop and AMC theaters that end up out of jobs, right? A huge redistribution of wealth, which can overall affect the stock market, right? You're moving millions, sometimes billions of dollars over to hedge funds for them to, just hold more money. So this article came out today saying why AMC Entertainment stock jumped 14% out of the gate today. And I've said this a bunch of different times. I've said anytime you see the media stop covering this, that's when you know this movement is over. So this is not done yet. WSB is going to be the last group of people to stop talking about it. And I'm telling you, this just shows you that they're freaking out. So shares of movie theater operator AMC Entertainment rose 14%, but by around 11 a.m. EST, the stock had lost about half that gain. This hints that the Reddit message board behind its earlier run-up may not hold the same sway it once did over the stock price. I'm not even going to show you more than that because that is such absolute crap that you can see right here. If we come and check out the Reddit thread, there is still very, very much a lot of hype and a lot of weight to what is happening here. I held a live stream today, guys, and I had at one point 20,000 people logged in, and this is literally all anybody's talking about right now. That is what I have to say about that. So don't pay attention to news articles like that don't go with common sense. If you don't think it makes sense, it probably doesn't make sense because this is being updated all the time. This is still a popping forum, guys. There's a lot of people that pay attention to this stuff. So I want to point that out just so you have an idea of what to watch out for if you really do believe in this cause, guys. And I want to show you another thing right here. So I pulled this up. We're going to briefly outline some different things. So short ladder attacks aren't a thing. I want to present this to you because I don't want to show you just my side. This is my take on things, right? I'm not going to BS you. I'm always going to be transparent. So you take that for what it is. I have, you can pause this and read it real quick, but I'm going to move down and show you other things as well. Price is down because a lot of people sold. I also think this is possible, but I think the majority of people did sell. This is something that I don't agree with in terms of the Wall Street Bets forum, right? But it is good that they're saying these things. It's good that we're trying to collectively bring people together to a certain cause. I do think that short ladder attacks are a thing. They're extremely illegal, and it takes a lot of planning and a lot of illegality from a lot of people to make it happen. But I'm not saying that's out of the question. I think it's extremely, extremely possible. And we know for a fact we've got a bunch of different lawsuits and things happening right now in terms of getting this in the eyes of different people. This could take a while because this isn't Volkswagen. And this is what I really want to touch on. Volkswagen took 2 weeks, and 90% of stocks were locked up by Porsche and the German government. So the shorties couldn't rely on paper Portnoys dumping stocks every day like rain. Even then, it took 2 weeks for the squeeze to be squoze. This might take time. This time it might take longer because while together we are strong, we aren't putting in $500 million buys to make the price skyrocket, which is what happened with Volkswagen. There is hope. There is a reason to keep holding. This is talking about GameStop in specific, but AMC is definitely no different. In fact, I think the price action and what's happening right now with AMC is more promising. It's holding up better. It's not giving back as much. It's having bigger green days, right? And while it is a cheaper stock, this does influence things. I do think that is a valid point. Now, I do want to show you quick the overall situation with Volkswagen. So hold on one sec. All right, so I see a lot of people talk about Volkswagen, GameStop, ANC, and every single time that I bring up Volkswagen, people say, man, you should not be talking about this. It is not comparable at all. You're really misleading people, etc., etc. And I'm going to show you guys right now. This was posted 6 days ago. Of course, this happened back in 2008. What happened with Volkswagen, and why is this a similar situation, and how we can use this to predict what can happen moving forward, right? So, a group of angry Redditors have caused billions of dollars of damage to hedge funds shorting GameStop stocks. In 2008, Porsche gobbled up so much Volkswagen stock it caused Volkswagen stock prices to soar, which similarly caused short sellers to lose tens of billions of dollars in a span of a couple days. The result of the current short squeeze could be increased regulations over retail traders. These are the three main points. But essentially, I want to read to you what happened with the Volkswagen squeeze. So, as unprecedented as the situation seems at the moment, and since such coordination among retail investors has been rare, it's similar to something that happened to Porsche and Volkswagen more than a decade ago, though for different reasons. The starting point for the short squeeze at that time was Porsche's desire to accumulate more voting rights in Volkswagen. It did so by buying up Volkswagen shares, etc. We saw they were aiming for more voting rights, control of the board, and Volkswagen stock price inched up through 2006 and 7 for about 2 years, going from 30 pounds in 2005 to over 150 pounds by 2007, seemingly absent any outside reason. The stock began to appear massively overvalued, and the hedge funds took notice and began shorting the stock, not thinking about the fact that Porsche had a huge stake in the company, betting that it would go down eventually. Well, it didn't. The squeeze itself happened in late 2008. By that time, Volkswagen became the most valuable automaker on the planet thanks to its stock price having skyrocketed, while the short position had ballooned to 12% of outstanding shares. The kicker was Porsche had owned 43% of Volkswagen shares and also another 32% in share options. The German government, however, owned another 20.2%. This left very little that could be purchased by anybody else. This disparity caused short sellers to rush to buy more stock to cover their positions, driving the stock price further still through the month of October 2008, with Volkswagen stock price now hovering just above 900 pounds and at one point exceeding 1,000 pounds in intraday trading. Now, how is this similar to what's happening with GameStop and AMC, right? So with GameStop and AMC, there's one thing that is changing this a little bit from this situation, and one thing that really can make a big difference. We don't have a huge company like Porsche dumping money into GameStop or AMC, right? From what we know, we do have BlackRock, right? So BlackRock did end up investing in AMC. I did put that in my previous video, but just for the sake of time, I'm not going to touch on that a whole lot right now. What you need to know is there's a 6.2 million share stake by BlackRock in the company, and that could be a good sign. And if you see this happen down the road, guys, if you see these institutional buyers step in and say, okay, we're going to go long on this, that is, I'll be jumping up and down. I'll be going absolutely insane, because that is a big signifier to me. There is good things coming with AMC and GameStop. So what you can take away from this, guys, is there is a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope, and you can see this happening down the road. I want to be realistic with you guys at all times. I had someone message me on Instagram today, and actually some people have been messaging my girlfriend, who I'm not going to mention here today because I want to keep her private, right? She appreciates that. Basically saying, threatening me and my girlfriend and saying, man, you are really screwing a lot of people, giving them this false hope, saying that AMC is going to squeeze and GameStop is going to squeeze, because at the end of the day, you're just losing people money because you're trying to pump the stock. Let me tell you right now, guys. Let me tell you right now. First thing off, I'm not pumping the stock. I am red, just like many of you out there are. I lost $30,000 in my Fidelity account because Fidelity, Robinhood, 212, a whole bunch of different brokerages ended up liquidating accounts because they didn't have enough collateral to match all the trading that was happening. So I lost $30,000 in the game. And you know what I immediately did? Is I purchased another $3,365 of AMC on Webull, and I reopened my position with another 150 shares over at Fidelity. I have skin in the game too. This is not a pump for me. Let's be completely honest. Me as a single person, no matter how big my YouTube channel is, I'm not going to influence the stock price enough for this to hit $200 like everybody keeps talking about, right? So that's something that I want to say right off the bat. And the second thing is, we all know that this is risky. We all know that this game is risky, guys. We all know this might not pan out. And that is why we need to work together to make it happen. Check this out, right? This is called Wall Street Bets. It's not called Wall Street Guarantees. It's called Wall Street Bets, and it's because we can't guarantee anything in the market, especially not with a stock this volatile, being this heavily shorted, right? But what we can do is this. We can look at the overall numbers. We can see that even on a day where we had SSR in place, the short sale rule, we still saw 61 million in short volume. We still saw that as 30.86% of the total volume on the day. We can still come over here and look at the days to cover and see that the shorts are still hammering down. They're still using 85% of the total lendable shares from the stock, from lenders, right? We can see that they're still hammering down and trying their best to stay in the game. We can still see the percentage of free float on loan is 24.41%. We can see that they've got short interest, and their cost to borrow is extremely high, right? There's a lot of signs here that say this is still a big deal, and they're still in the game, guys. They're still not giving up. They're doubling down. They 100% think, these hedge funds still think they're going to beat us. They think eventually what's going to happen is we're going to move on to the next meme stock, and they're just going to end up crushing the company and milking every single pence, hundreds of thousands of dollars, in some case, millions of dollars out of people, and redistribute the wealth back over to them. They don't care if they end up bankrupting the company, bankrupting retail investors and people with real families and homes, and they just don't want to pay taxes on their gains. They want to make everything back that they lost. It's like gambling. It's absolutely like gambling. It makes absolutely no sense, and I've got just a couple more things that I want to show you here today regarding AMC. All right, guys, so I've got two things pulled up for you. One is a tweet by Rod Breslau. Take this for what it is. Bloomberg is reporting the SEC is combing through social media and message boards for signs of fraud around GameStop. So instead of going after hedge funds and investment banks on Wall Street, the SEC goes after Simplord69 on Reddit. That's America, baby. Take that. Look at this, guys. That is insane. Man, look at how crooked some of these systems are regarding what's going on with the SEC, with the hedge funds, etc. So they know there's an issue here, right? The SEC understands that there's an actual issue going on. But instead, according to Bloomberg reporting, they're actually investigating social media and message boards for signs of fraud around GameStop, which is obviously very, very heavily being happening. It's happening in front of our eyes with hedge funds. We can see that the overall short interest is growing literally every single day. We can see that previously in GameStop, there was a 250% short interest, right? Which means that there is naked shorting happening, creating shares that don't exist. Shares, that's so insane. It's so crazy. I mean, think about this. It's right in front of our eyes. We can see it. We can see that there used to be a short interest higher than 100% in GameStop, which means that out of 100 shares, there had to have been 250 shares floating, which means they counterfeited 150 shares at one point. They created shares that didn't exist to dilute the system, force fake selling pressure in the stock. It's absolutely insane. Check this out. This is one thing that I think is really cool, and I think is going to leave you guys with a little bit of hope. Incredible. A 20-year-old who made big bucks in the GameStop stock surge used it to buy Nintendo Switches and video games for a children's hospital. I mentioned this in my last video, guys, but this is why I am so heavily vested in this GameStop movement, this AMC movement. It is because this. At the end of the day, I tweeted this out. I'm going to show you the tweet as well because this to me sums up everything that I could ever possibly say about the situation. All right, here we go. If I make money on AMC, great. If I lose money on AMC, oh well. This movement to me is not about money. It's creating a community to stand up to corruption and the crooked free market. It's incredibly beautiful to see all kinds of people come together because of that. And I 100% stand by exactly what I just said in that tweet, guys, because at the end of the day, there are really, really cool things that are coming out of this, right? So what hedge funds are trying to do is scare people away. Kick them where it hurts, take their money, people will shut up and just bend back over. That's essentially what's happening right now with these hedge funds. And what's awesome is regardless of where you live on the planet, your sex, your age, your gender, your political agenda, right? Your religious background, your location on the planet. People are coming together from all over the place. I've got people on my Discord from Africa, Sweden, all sorts of different places in Europe, right? And saying, hey guys, we see what's happening here. And I don't have to get into this. I don't even care if I lose my money. I'm going to get into this stock. And that's one thing that I really want to say, guys, is as a community, that is what is beautiful about this movement, is we all recognize that there is a actual issue with the system, the free market that exists, and people are coming together to make it happen. I have made so many friends and connections through this situation that's going on with AMC right now, and I am eternally grateful for that because we all believe in this one thing. We believe this is crooked. We believe that, honestly, it's evil. We all know the game here, right? We all know how risky this is. There is absolutely nothing guaranteed about what's happening right now with AMC. What we can do is look at the numbers. We can look at the numbers and say, as of today, this is what the situation looks like. Today, the situation looks a lot better than it looked yesterday. It looks a lot better. We made some moves, right? We made some great moves. But we all know this is risky, and we all know that whatever we put into this stock, we might end up losing. So I want to double down on that because I am eternally grateful for how much my channel has grown over the last couple of days. It honestly completely blows my mind. But with that comes a couple other things, and it is the privacy and safety of myself and my family. And getting people that say, you really, really need to stop posting these videos because you are losing people money. Guys, at the end of the day, I say that I'm not a financial advisor thing, not to cover my butt, but because it's a fact. Because I'm not a financial advisor. I can present you all the information, right? I know that I know a lot of stuff about charts. I know that I know a lot of stuff about technical analysis. And what I'm trying to do is provide you information to help you with your investing decisions and basically say, hey, as a collective whole, this is what it's going to take to make this happen. What you do at the end of the day is totally up to you, my friends. I mean that. Everybody's in a financially different situation. Whatever you have to do to make things happen, that is totally fine. But at the end of the day, if you want to see this happen, you really want to see the hedge funds get squeezed. You really want to see them get crushed. Buy and hold. That's all it comes down to. It's buy and hold. To me, this is not about profit. I really, really want to make some people money, and I know that I can do that. I made a lot of great calls today, guys, and I mean that. MVIS, I predicted this happening. NVIS was a great call, and I will continue to make these calls and make people cash. Right? I have a video out on it. You can check it out. In AMC, we have potential to make money. It's there, but nothing's guaranteed, and I really want to lock down on that and tell you exactly how it is. And that is all of the most relevant information that I have today on the stock. Last thing that I want to cover. This is regarding the expirations on shorts, right? So what does this mean? Well, there's a difference between shorting a stock and options. So options or put have expiration dates. And what do I mean? Well, you can pick an option right here. You can see if we check this out, you've got expiration dates, right? So what do we have right here? The 5th of February of 2021. We've got the 12th of February, 2021. Essentially, you are picking a date on which you think a price is going to be hit. And hedge funds, what they've done is they've exercised put options on specific dates, like last Friday, and they expired. So once they expire and they lose on them, basically, they expire worthless. They have to buy back their shares. In fact, they're down money, right? So they have to buy back the shares, and that's what the expiration means. As far as shorting goes, there's no deadline per se on when they have to cover the stock. What it comes down to is the interest rates. We know the interest rates on these shorts are extremely high, and how bad they're bleeding, how much the stock has run up, how much are they willing to lose. So as far as shorting goes, there's no specific date that a person who sells and borrows a share and sells it has to cover back, right? Unless they get a margin call. But essentially, these hedge funds have billions of dollars at their disposal, where if they're down $10 billion, like you saw with GameStop, they just get spotted more money. But options expire, shorts do not. They've got as much time as they want. What gets them is the short interest, right? The amount of interest accrued every single day by holding those stocks, right? And the amount of losses they're willing to gain. So that is what I have for the video today, guys. I try to give you the most relevant information that I could find. I've been asked about the Volkswagen squeeze, how it compares. Why would I talk about that? And I wanted to point out to you some similarities, some signs for hope, right? I showed you the most relevant short interest information from 2 different websites to give you the best possible outlook that we can. We had a good day today, guys. The overall short volume percentage was 30% of the total market volume, and we had a green day. We started off the day pretty rough, right? We had a large sell-off and moved very smoothly, touched $9.77. Good piece of work, guys. I really feel good about that. So I showed you the most recent short interest, right? Even with SSR in place, I showed you Ortex as well, total utilization, very good information. I showed you a bunch of different articles and news sources to get you up to speed with a lot of different things, right? The GameStop situation, how it compares to Volkswagen. I told you what an SSR is. I showed you Wall Street bets, different pieces from there, right? We looked at some fake news, basically, people trying to get scared out of their money. This is honestly just as bad as the $1 hit piece. Well, I don't think anything will be as bad as that. That was an outrageous hit piece. But guys, we talked to you about the anatomy of a short ladder. We talked to you about naked shorting. I didn't read this piece, but if you follow with the last videos, I did mention it in this video for the sake of time. You have all the tools at your disposal. We know what needs to happen here. At the end of the day, I'm holding, right? But I'm not a financial advisor. This is not advice. Don't do as I say and say as I do, right? This is the information that I want to pass along because this is what it's going to take to make this happen. This might take time. Volkswagen took 2 weeks to squeeze, and it was a different situation. GameStop in comparison took some time to squeeze. If we look at GameStop on the 1-month chart, check this out. GameStop was a process in the making. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days, I would argue, until we really saw a run up. And that's not even including back here, right? Because we did start pushing back here. We pushed from $17 up to 20. So if you want to include these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days, 2 weeks. Funny how that works, guys. Funny how that works. So let's come over here to AMC and just compare, right? We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, and we start to see a nice run up, right? But this is a blip in comparison to what happened with GameStop. In fact, if we come back here to GameStop, that's probably what this looks like right here. That's probably what this looks like in comparison to GameStop. That little blip compared to this massive, huge squeeze that we saw in comparison. So I presented you with everything that I have to offer, my friends. I will continue to do so. I am extremely grateful for all the new traders that joined the community here. Welcome to the channel. I'm so pumped to have you. And that is what I have for the video today. So if you enjoyed it, please drop a like. It really does help support the channel. And consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content like this. And lastly, I have an affiliate link in the description box down below for Webull. The brokerage platform you're watching me use right now is version 4 for the desktop. You get 4 free stocks with a $100 deposit. I also receive a free stock. Great way to support the channel. If you're not interested, that's totally fine, my friends. I appreciate you just taking the time to watch my videos. So that is what I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching, my friends, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.